From the humble Fusion Flea to the 950 horsepower Cherry Bomb, the world of Fallout is filled with a magnitude of vehicles, all with their own unique designs and characteristics. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm TNG, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at these relics of a bygone era and seeing if we can dig up a little bit more information on them. Let's get into it. Up first, we have one of two microcars that can be found in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the Zip. Now, unfortunately, there isn't actually any records on who built this vehicle. However, we can speculate. If I was to put money on it, I'd say that it was either a Corvega branded car, which was a division of the Chryslus Motor Company. It could have been branded as a Chryslus, or it could have been built by a totally different company. Again, we can only speculate. Unfortunately, all the records regarding it were destroyed in the Great War. What we do know, however, is that pre-war, this car was known to be fast due to its fusion engine, totally devoid of any safety feature, but nonetheless, still very popular. Yeah, don't let this little isoterrest vehicle fool you. It was a rapid, well-handling little beast, and the pre-war consumers absolutely loved it. Now onto our second and final microcar of the video, the well-known and ever-popular Fusion Flea. Or to give it its full name, the Fusion Flea Supreme. Simply lovely. Now, unlike the Zip, we can actually confirm that this vehicle was built by Chryslus. In fact, employees, after working for 2 years at Chryslus, was given a replica of the Fusion Flea Supreme. That's nice of them, isn't it? Anyway, moving on. Much like the Zip, the Fusion Flea Supreme was also a single-seater vehicle powered by a nuclear fusion engine. So yeah, it was a quick little car. Not only was it quick though, it handled extremely well and was very, very light indeed. So not only was it perfect for Doris to go and do her shopping, or Dave to go and do his daily commute to work, it actually made for a fantastic scout car in use by the army. Yes, the Fusion Flea took part in military offensives, and it's understandable really, isn't it? I mean, look how intimidating that is. If you saw that coming at you, you'd run a mile, wouldn't you? I get it, right? That sounds ridiculous. Putting one of these three-wheeled little devil spawn bug-looking vehicles into a frontline combat situation. However, the army didn't just take a civilian Spec 1 in its traditional bright blue colours and throw it into, I don't know, the Anchorage Offensive, for example. They did actually make some pretty cool and impressive changes to the military version. For example, they whipped out the old nuclear fusion engine and put in a diesel fusion engine. Not sure what the difference is, but the diesel one is faster apparently. On top of this massive increase in horsepower, they also painted it in a rather special matte green paint, which made the Fusion Flea pretty much invisible when it needed to be. Yeah, it's a deceptively cool and very capable little car this. It's one of my favourites in the game, to be honest with you. I think what I like the most about it is the fact that they took heavy design inspirations off the Messerschmitt microcar. And yeah, that is the same Messerschmitt that made the BF-109, which nearly tore Britain a new arsehole in the war. Aye, talk about a change up in manufacturing. So now we move away from the tiny little one-seater bad boys. Let's move on to actual family cars, so to speak. And we're going to start off with the Atomic V8 built by Corvega. This is literally one of the most common cars you can find in the Fallout games. They're in Fallout 3 all the way up to Fallout 76. They come in a myriad of different colours. There's even a police car version. We have a 2-door model, a 4-door model, and we even have this really smart looking version here. Unfortunately though, we don't actually see it in game. It's a really cool car this, and again, it's one of my favourites, and it just screams 1950s, 60s American cars. And for a guy like me, that ticks all the boxes, you know. Big chrome grille on front of it, tail fins. Such a cool looking motor. Up next, we have the Corvega Blitz, another fusion-powered car which is good for the whole family. Including the driver, this vehicle actually has room for 5 people, which is pretty spacious compared to some of the vehicles that are on this list. In fact, it's positively cathedral-like compared to the Fusion Flea or the Zip. We don't actually see as many Blitzi? I'm not too sure on the on that word there, compared to the Atomic V8, for example. But it was still a pretty popular car and can be found in plentiful numbers across the Wasteland, which makes sense. After all, this car was designed for economy, and in a world where inflation's through the bloody roof and a cup of coffee costs you $50, it's hardly surprising that so many of these were sold and can still be found in post-war America. Now, much like a few of the cars on this list, the Blitz was based, or at least loosely based, on a real-world equivalent. In fact, in the Blitz's case, there's actually two cars it takes inspiration from. The first, a 1955 Lincoln Indianapolis, and a DeSoto Adventurer 2. Now, truth be told, right, while I do love my cars, I am English, so obscure Americana like that, I am not really that up to date with, I'll be honest. However, having a look at them two cars side by side, you can see the design elements in the Corvega Blitz. Say what you want about the Fallout devs, but they do some amazing world items, and this is no different. Really cool car. Do like this one a lot. For our next car, we have the Chryslus Station Wagon, and that is literally its name. Nothing glorious about that, and to me, that does not look like a station wagon, or an estate car, as we call them in Britain. However, we didn't make the names up, we can only go off what we see. Funnily enough, this is the only vehicle on the list which is described as an out-and-out luxury vehicle, and we actually get quite a lot of detail into how luxurious this car is. For example, it'll seat 6 people in extreme comfort. The steering wheel, the dash, and every single panel in the car is lined in a different type of leather. There is a bar in the back of it. There is a transparent roof so the family can enjoy the views. But the most important feature in my opinion, and I'm sure other classic car owners will agree with me on this one, it had multiple cup holders. Now, that may sound like nothing to all non-car people out there, but trust me, it's a big thing in older vehicles. Let me know down in the comments, guys, of your experience of cup holders or lack thereof. I'm sorry, I digress. Let's get back to it. It's a pretty interesting car, the station wagon. Not only was it luxurious, it was also based off real-world vehicles as well. The front end was designed off a 1950 Studebaker Champion, while the back resembles both the Plymouth XNR and the 1941 Horch 853 Sport Cabriolet. Yes, that is direct from Wikipedia, and I have no clue what any of those vehicles are, but I'm going to trust it. Now we come on to the more exotic vehicles of the Wasteland, and we're going to start with the Flying Car. This is one of the most impressive achievements of pre-war technology, and it does exactly what the name suggests. It flies. Well, hovers at least. Now, due to the technology that was put into these, they were extremely expensive, and that makes them, in turn, extremely bloody rare as well. In fact, it's so obscure, it can only be found in a few locations in Fallout 76, believe it or not. Now, it is pretty cool, this car, and it's very impressive with the technology that's in it, but it's not the fastest. It can only do 200 miles an hour. It can only seat 2 occupants. And I don't think it's one of the better looking cars in the game, to be honest. And let's face it, yeah, if you pulled up to the traffic lights in this thing, which cost millions upon millions of dollars, and you're blown out the water by a Fusion Flea or a Zip, it's going to be pretty embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a really cool idea, awesome looking design, but this isn't up there for me. Not one of my favourites. If speed is your top priority, this will be your favourite car in the Wasteland, the Chryslus Cherry Bomb. This was the first vehicle ever to break the sound barrier, and it has a top speed of 768 miles per hour. Now you may be thinking, TNG, how does it achieve such high speeds? Well, I'll tell you. It was literally designed to break the sound barrier. Everything from that sleek bodywork to the 950 horsepower Atomic V8 engine was created to achieve those ridiculous speeds. Like, seriously, the thing had a joystick to control it. It's basically like having a fighter jet with wheels. Really awesome car. It does have a bulletproof cockpit though, which is strange in my opinion. Kinda negates the speed factor, but that's fine. It is only a game. Speaking of games, actually, if you want to drive the Cherry Bomb, if you have Forza 6, you can get this car in that game, which I think is really bloody cool. It's called the Chryslus Rocket 69 in that, so if you do have it, fire it up and have a ganders in it. Yeah, another really cool design, and it does have a real world counterpart, believe it or not, the Firebird 3 concept. Again, not too sure what that is. In fact, let's have a ganders. Oh, right, okay. I can kind of see the resemblance. That is an awesome looking vehicle, that, though. Ah, that's pretty sweet, that. But aye, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. There is a number of other vehicles that we can look at. We've got the Highwayman, the Death Car, we've got all the military vehicles and whatnot. However, the video will be 16 hours long, and I'm not sure how this is going to be received as it stands. But yeah, if you do want more videos on the vehicles of Fallout, please let me know down in the comments. Anyhow, as we say in the north, I will love you and leave you, and I'll catch you at next one. Have fun, everybody.